I took out a personal loan in Marcus's name, $11,000. He didn't know about it until the collections calls started 8 months after we broke up. And yeah, I'm the one who broke up with him. Okay, so before you decide you already know everything about me, I had a situation. My credit was destroyed, like 400 and something destroyed. Medical bills from a thing that happened 2 years before I even met Marcus, a car repossession, the whole nightmare. And I was drowning. I couldn't get an apartment on my own, couldn't get a card, couldn't get a loan. Nothing.
Tell them the part where you used my login while I was at work, and my social security number, which you had because I trusted you to help me file my taxes.
Yes, I used his information. I'm not going to lie about that part, but I was going to pay it back myself. That was always the plan. I had a payment schedule, I had it set to auto draft from my account.
Your account that you closed in March, 2 months after you took the loan out, in my name. So the auto draft, where exactly was that drafting from, Deja?
That account didn't close because I was running. I switched banks because my old bank had overdraft fees that were eating me alive, which, again, is part of the whole financial spiral I was trying to get out of. I know how it looks, I know, but I was still paying on it for a while.
For 4 months out of 12, and then you stopped, and then you broke up with me. And then 3 months after that, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize telling me I owed $11,400 on a loan I never took out. I had to Google the lender's name. I didn't even know what company it was.
And I'm not saying that wasn't look. I know how that call must have felt. I do. But Marcus, we also need to talk about why I needed $11,000 in the first place. Because it wasn't for a vacation. It wasn't for clothes. I was trying to cover the back rent on the apartment we were sharing, our apartment, that you had agreed to cover while I got back on my feet.
I covered it for 7 months. I covered it. I said I needed us to figure out a long-term plan. You said, and I have the text, I will literally read it. You said, quote, "Don't stress, babe, I'm working on something, trust me." That was the plan, committing fraud.
It wasn't fraud in my head. In my head, it was a stopgap. We were together, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine, that whole thing. I thought by the time it mattered, we'd either both be in a better place financially or I don't know.
Or you be gone, which is what happened, say it.
It wasn't like I had a countdown timer running. The relationship ended because the relationship ended. We weren't working anymore, and you know that. You felt it too.
What I felt was a 17-point drop in my credit score from a missed payment I didn't know existed. What I felt was calling you and you not picking up. 11 times, Deja, I have the call log. 11 calls before you finally texted me back. You texted me, "I'm so sorry, I'll handle it." And then nothing for weeks.
Because I didn't know how to handle it, okay? I had no money, I had already moved out. I was sleeping on my cousin's couch. What was I supposed to say to you? Hey, sorry, here's 11 grand, my bad. I didn't have it. I don't have it now. And I knew that any conversation we had was just going to be you yelling at me.
You don't get to decide I don't deserve an explanation because the explanation is uncomfortable for you. That's not how this works. I had nothing to do with this loan. I didn't sign anything. I didn't agree to anything. And now it's on my credit report. I had to hire someone to dispute it, and I still don't know if I can get a mortgage in the next 2 years because of something you did with my identity.
And that matters to me. I hear you saying that, and that genuinely kills me. The mortgage thing, I didn't think that far ahead. I really didn't. And I know I didn't think that far ahead sounds like the lamest excuse you've ever heard, but I was barely thinking past the next 30 days. I was in survival mode and I made a catastrophic decision, and I have to live with that.
You have to live with it, cool, so do I, except I didn't choose to.
I know.
Was any part of it, did you ever think for 1 second that maybe you should have just told me you were that desperate? We were together 2 years. You couldn't say, "Marcus, I need help."
You want to know the honest answer to that? I was ashamed. I was so ashamed of how bad it had gotten that I would rather forge a loan than sit across from you and watch you look at me like I was a mess you had to clean up. That's the real answer. It's not a good answer, but it's the real one.
So you protected your pride and blew up my finances. Great trade. Really glad one of us walked away from this relationship okay.
I didn't walk away okay. I walked away with the guilt of knowing what I did to someone who was actually good to me. And I think about it every time I'm in a better position and still know I can't make it fully right. There's no fully right here. There's just what I did.
At least you said it out loud, finally. Took about 2 years and a credit attorney, but sure.
What would you have done? Tell me in the comments. And if someone you know needs to hear this, send it. New confession dropping soon, don't miss it.